NEC Section 300.10 addresses installation in a raceway cable or enclosure with live parts. This section generally prohibits the installation of any foreign systems within enclosures that contain electrical conductors or equipment. The primary reason for this prohibition is safety. Introducing water lines or any other non-electrical system into an electrical enclosure creates several potential hazards. Firstly, water and electricity do not mix well. If a water line were to leak or break inside a light pole, it could create a conductive path, leading to electrical shock hazards for anyone who comes into contact with the pole or nearby conductive surfaces. Secondly, the presence of water can corrode electrical components, reducing their lifespan and increasing the risk of failures. Thirdly, foreign systems can introduce physical damage. The installation and maintenance of water lines can damage electrical conductors or insulation, leading to short circuits or ground faults. NEC Section 410.12 focuses on the location of outdoor luminaires. While this section may not explicitly state that water lines are prohibited, it indirectly prohibits them by emphasizing the safe installation and maintenance of outdoor lighting fixtures. Outdoor luminaires are exposed to environmental conditions such as rain, snow, and extreme temperatures, which can exacerbate the hazards associated with mixing water and electricity. The installation of water lines within a light pole could compromise the integrity of the electrical system, increasing the risk of failure and potential harm to individuals and property. Here's a more detailed look at why these prohibitions are in place. From an electrical safety perspective, the combination of water and electricity poses a significant threat. Water is a conductor of electricity, and if it comes into contact with live electrical parts, it can create a path for current to flow through unintended objects or people. This can result in electrical shock, which can range from a mild tingle to cardiac arrest, depending on the voltage and current involved. In the context of a light pole, a leaking water line could saturate the internal wiring and components, making the entire pole energized. Anyone touching the pole could then become part of the electrical circuit, experiencing a potentially fatal shock. Furthermore, the presence of water can accelerate corrosion of metal components, including conductors, connectors, and enclosures. Corrosion increases electrical resistance, leading to overheating and potential fire hazards. Over time, corroded components can fail completely, causing the lighting system to malfunction or become unsafe. From a fire safety perspective, the combination of water and electricity can create conditions that increase the risk of fire. A short circuit caused by water intrusion can generate intense heat, which can ignite nearby combustible materials. Additionally, the presence of water can interfere with the operation of protective devices such as circuit breakers and fuses, preventing them from tripping and clearing the fault. This can allow the short circuit to persist, leading to a fire. The NEC is designed to minimize these risks by separating electrical and non-electrical systems, ensuring that each system can operate safely and reliably without interfering with the other. The code provides specific requirements for the installation of electrical equipment in wet or damp locations, including the use of waterproof enclosures, insulated conductors, and ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs. These measures are intended to prevent water from coming into contact with live electrical parts and to quickly de-energize the circuit if a ground fault occurs. In addition to safety concerns, the installation of water lines inside light poles can also create maintenance challenges. Light poles are typically designed to provide access for electrical maintenance, such as replacing lamps or repairing wiring. The presence of water lines can obstruct access to electrical components, making it more difficult to perform maintenance tasks. Furthermore, the water lines themselves may require periodic maintenance, such as leak detection and repair. This can further complicate maintenance efforts and increase the risk of damage to electrical components. The NEC addresses these concerns by requiring adequate working space around electrical equipment and by prohibiting the installation of foreign systems that could interfere with maintenance activities. Now, let's elaborate on the specific requirements of NEC Section 300.10, which covers installation in a raceway cable or enclosure with live parts. This section states that raceways, cables, and enclosures containing conductors or equipment shall not be used as a means of support for other raceways, cables, or non-electrical equipment. This means that water lines, or any other non-electrical system, cannot be attached to or supported by electrical enclosures. The intent of this requirement is to prevent physical damage to electrical conductors and equipment, as well as to maintain the integrity of the electrical system. For example, if a water line were to break or leak, the weight of the water could cause the raceway or enclosure to collapse, damaging the electrical conductors and creating a safety hazard. Similarly, the installation of water lines could introduce vibrations or stresses that could weaken the electrical system over time. NEC Section 410.12, which covers the location of outdoor luminaires, provides additional guidance on the safe installation and maintenance of outdoor lighting fixtures. This section requires that outdoor luminaires be located and installed in a manner that prevents water from entering the fixture and causing damage to electrical components. This can be achieved by using weatherproof enclosures, seals, and gaskets, as well as by orienting the luminaire in a way that minimizes exposure to rain and snow. In addition, NEC Section 410.12 requires that outdoor luminaires be accessible for maintenance and repair. This means that the luminaire must be located in a place where it can be easily reached and worked on, without the need for special tools or equipment. The presence of water lines inside the light pole could obstruct access to the luminaire, making it more difficult to perform maintenance tasks. Therefore, while Section 410.12 does not explicitly prohibit water lines, it implies that they are not permitted because they could compromise the safety and accessibility of the luminaire. To ensure compliance with NEC requirements, it is essential to carefully consider the location and installation of all electrical and non-electrical systems. The electrical systems should be installed in accordance with the NEC and other applicable codes and standards, while non-electrical systems should be kept separate from electrical enclosures and equipment. In addition, regular inspections and maintenance should be performed to identify and address any potential hazards or problems. When designing and installing outdoor lighting systems, it is important to consider the environmental conditions and the potential for water intrusion. Luminaires should be selected and installed in a way that minimizes exposure to rain, snow, and other forms of moisture. Weatherproof enclosures, seals, and gaskets should be used to protect electrical components from water damage. In addition, the luminaires should be located in a place where they can be easily accessed for maintenance and repair. If there is a need to run water lines near light poles or other electrical equipment, they should be installed in a separate raceway or enclosure, and they should be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock hazards. The water line should also be inspected regularly to ensure that they are not leaking or causing any damage to the electrical system. In summary, the NEC prohibits the installation of water lines inside light poles with open conductors to prevent electrical shock and fire hazards. This prohibition is based on the fundamental principle that water and electricity do not mix well, and that the combination of these two elements can create dangerous conditions. By keeping electrical and non-electrical systems separate, the NEC helps to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical installations. Remember, always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local codes for specific requirements and guidelines related to electrical installations. It is also recommended to consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for any questions or concerns about electrical safety. Let's consider some real-world scenarios to further illustrate the importance of these NEC requirements. Imagine a light pole in a park that has a water line running inside it to supply water to a nearby drinking fountain. Over time, the water line corrodes and begins to leak, saturating the electrical wiring and components inside the pole. A child playing near the pole touches it and receives a severe electrical shock. This tragic scenario could have been prevented if the water line had been installed in a separate raceway or enclosure, in accordance with NEC requirements. Another scenario involves a light pole in a parking lot that has a water line running inside it to supply water to a landscaping sprinkler system. A contractor is hired to perform maintenance on the sprinkler system and inadvertently damages the electrical wiring inside the pole. This creates a short circuit, which ignites nearby combustible materials and starts a fire. The fire spreads quickly, damaging several cars in the parking lot. This incident could have been avoided if the water line had been installed in a way that did not interfere with the electrical wiring. These scenarios highlight the importance of following NEC requirements and taking precautions to prevent electrical hazards. By understanding the risks associated with mixing water and electricity, and by implementing appropriate safety measures, we can help to protect people and property from harm. Here are some additional tips for ensuring electrical safety in outdoor lighting systems. Always use weatherproof enclosures, seals, and gaskets to protect electrical components from water damage. Install ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs, to quickly de-energize the circuit if a ground fault occurs. Regularly inspect electrical wiring and components for signs of damage or corrosion. Keep electrical enclosures and equipment free from obstructions such as water lines or other non-electrical systems. Ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified electrician or electrical engineer. Follow all applicable codes and standards for electrical installations. By following these tips, you can help to create a safer and more reliable outdoor lighting system. It's also important to remember that electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving to reflect new technologies and best practices. Therefore, it is essential to stay up to date on the latest requirements and to consult with qualified professionals for any questions or concerns. The NEC is a comprehensive document that covers a wide range of electrical topics, including wiring methods, overcurrent protection, grounding, and equipment installation. It is used by electricians, electrical engineers, inspectors, and other professionals to ensure the safety of electrical installations. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. The latest edition of the NEC is the 2023 edition, which includes several significant changes and updates. One of the key changes in the 2023 NEC is the increased emphasis on arc fault circuit interrupters (FSIs). FSIs are devices that detect arc faults, which are a common cause of electrical fires. The 2023 NEC requires FSIs to be installed in more locations than previous editions, including bedrooms, living rooms, and dining rooms. Another important change in the 2023 NEC is the updated requirements for ground fault circuit interrupters, GFCIs. GFCIs are devices that detect ground faults, which can cause electrical shock. The 2023 NEC requires GFCIs to be installed in more locations than previous editions, including bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor areas. The 2023 NEC also includes new requirements for surge protection devices, SPDs. SPD are devices that protect electrical equipment from voltage surges, which can be caused by lightning strikes or other electrical disturbances. The 2023 NEC requires SPD to be installed in more locations than previous editions, including dwelling units and commercial buildings. These are just a few of the many changes and updates in the 2023 NEC. It is important to consult the latest edition of the NEC and local codes for specific requirements and guidelines related to electrical installations. In addition to the NEC, there are other codes and standards that may apply to electrical installations. These include local building codes, fire codes, and safety standards. It is important to be familiar with all applicable codes and standards to ensure that electrical installations are safe and compliant. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By understanding the risks associated with electricity and by following appropriate safety measures, we can help to protect ourselves and others from harm. Always remember to turn off the power before working on electrical equipment. Use insulated tools and equipment. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, such as gloves and safety glasses. Never work on electrical equipment when you are wet or damp. If you are not comfortable working on electrical equipment, call a qualified electrician. By following these simple precautions, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. And again, when in doubt, always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer. Their expertise can ensure that your electrical systems are safe, compliant, and reliable. They can also provide guidance on the latest codes, standards, and best practices for electrical installations.